Right. So let's start. Right. Good, good morning. So anyway, two topics left out. One is 3D and one is called virtual. So just will complete this anyway. Next class, next chapter. So the many are participating placement. Due to that, these two topics we'll discuss and we'll close it today. So last class we have seen 3D. So 3D examples, many cases we are seeing. For example, if you take hospital, CT scan, MRI scan. So all these things scannings, by seeing that doctors are able to recognize, able to identify which disease happened for the people. So that is what the maximum examples we can give. So let us see what is there, how they have given, how it should be. That's what they have given some of the points using 3D. So what are the parameters to give the interfaces? So for that interfaces what they have given. So for example, if you take CT scan or X-rays and all, so previously they were doing some missions. Now using the systems they are giving the printer. So updating the information, how they have visualization, how they have given, that is what we need to discuss in this. So features for the effective 3Ds, this first page we have seen last class, and the second page onwards we'll discuss. So some of the guidelines for the inclusions of the enhancement of the 3D features. So some of the guidelines they have given it. So previous one is how it should be. So how it should be given, features of the effectives of the 3Ds. So how visualization and colors, how to organize, how it should be visualization, how to make the zoom, all these things they have given the features of that one. This one we had discussed about the last class only. So now let us see the what is the guidelines to be framed for the 3D text. So 3D features. So wherever 3D, so you take either movie or whatever it may be. So some of the rules, guidelines they have given it. So provide the overview so the users can see the big picture. So for example, if you nowadays we are watching the TVs. So what will happen? Somebody will be seeing 18 inches, 14 inches. Now previously, if you see the TVs and our portable TV are 18 inches, 17 inches, 18 inches. Nowadays, what happened? LEDs came next year, LCDs came next, LEDs came. So size it is increasing. So when they are telecasting that based on the size, it should be accommodated. So bigger screen, bigger movie, bigger pictures, small TV, small. So even if you somebody sometimes will see using mobiles also will see it. So there also should be adjustable that. So that is what they provide the overview so the users can see the big pictures and small pictures, whatever it may be. So that facilities we have to give it. So first class, when I was shown that one, because of the settings, it was showing the bigger one only. So even I couldn't able to see overall connected to the system. So now what happened? I have changed the settings. Now it is visible for everybody, even overall connected. That one I can see the people. So how many people are there and what are overall connected to this one. So I can able to see. That is what the provide the overview so the users can see the big pictures. Allow the tele operations. So allow the tele operations. So daily operations is nothing but the speakings. So one way we cannot generalize the statements. So tele operations is nothing but some of the cases we can see, not for all the cases. So customer care, if you take they can see the tele operations. So when I suppose if you are having some product you have taken, some of the doubts you are having. So in that case we can see the tele operations also. So when you are telecasting that, then there is no telecast. Suppose if they are moving movie they are showing means we cannot do any contacts, telecommunications. So some of the cases they can give the telecommunications. So next is offer X-ray visions so users can see into or beyond the objects. So beyond the objects. So that means what? Suppose if they are taking any missions using the mission scanning, if they are taking, so they can see the users and in detail. So small, this one also they can be able to identify. So now you see cancer detections, what they are doing, some of the small piece they are taking, and so in that they are able to identify that. So that means what? Performing some of the tasks and do that one. So when which one is required, they can go for either X-ray or scanning or MRI. So many options are available that one. So which is applicable for that part or that objects. So that one they will be going for that. That is what they offer X-ray vision. So users can see into or beyond the objects, provide the history keeping. So especially this is most important. So history is important. So why means, so if the patient, what type of treatment they have given and what are the instructions they are given, all these things they should be able to identify. Suppose if your candidate is changing, person is changing from one hospital to another hospital, so maybe due to various reasons, maybe shifting one place to another place, or maybe cost expenditure or whatever it may be. So again, whatever they have done in the previous doctor, they should maintain the file and they can show it to the other doctor. Otherwise, what will happen? Again from the beginning, again expenditure for the candidates. So that is the reason. So this one provide the history keeping. So they should maintain the histories. So everywhere, not only hospitals. So you go for education systems or any offices, what are, suppose if you go for PBMP or land registrations or whatever it may be. So in that case, they have to maintain the data, previous data, all these things. Suppose if you want to buy some lands or some apartment or some house or some site, so the lawyer, if you go for legal opinion, what will happen? They'll be asking last 20 years or 25 years data. So like EC or a conversion order, something like that, and all they will be asking. So that's what the history is most important. So where will we getting that one? So we cannot maintain as a user all the documents. Suppose if they are asking you EC, government has to authenticate that. So and so person is having records from two. So they have to give it that one. That is the reason history is maintained. Otherwise, what will happen? Everybody will say that this is my land, this is my site, or this is my house, or something like that. So that is the reason they have to maintain the records. So permit the rich user actions and objects. So rich users and objects. So suppose if they are taking X-ray or scanning, if it is not visible properly, so they cannot able to diagnose that one. So they cannot able to identify that. So that is the reason enable the rich actions and objects. So that means what? Quality should be perfect. Otherwise, they cannot able to identify, especially medical field. So at least here, PPTs, if I'm preparing, suppose even something, if one or two slides or one or two characters, if not visible or something happened, also okay. But doctors, when they're taking scanning machines or X-rays or whatever it may be, so it should be very clear. Otherwise, they'll go for the next scanning. So otherwise, what will happen? If they're assuming something and doing something, means is a life and death issues. So that is the reason doctors, they'll be go for the another scanning. So that is the reason every time they should give the rich objects. Enables the remote collaboration. Enables the remote collaboration. So sometimes, so remote collaborations also required, enabled. So especially the best example is Linux servers. If you take a remote login access also is available. So for example, you are using many softwares sitting at home and they're doing some of the projects. So in that case, suppose if they want some of the softwares to be installed, so just if they're not able to install that particular software, they can contact their administrator and they can give virtual login and they can install it. So remote logins also is possible. Normally what will happen, Unix servers, when they want to restart some of the configurations or some of the foreground background jobs, so they can use the remote login and they can use it. Or some of the addition or deletion. Suppose if you have many servers like DNS server, FTP, NFS, like a HTTP server, all these things. So whenever they want to restart some of the configurations, so remote login is the best option for the system administrator. So that is what the remote login collaborations also required. So sitting on one place and we can execute it. Some of the jobs gives the users control over explanatory text and let the users. So give the users control over the explanatory. So here is text, all these things. Some of the cases we have to give the users also information. So suppose if they are giving some of the feedback forms, they have to give it. So otherwise, if they're not able to read the text on these things, it is very difficult to give the feedback. That is the reason they have to give the text and let users select the detailed on the demand. So whatever they want to give the demand, they can give it. So feedback, they can enter it and they tell their problems through either through communication or mobile or through telephone, whatever it may be. So offers tools to select, mark and measures. So often they have the offer tools to select. So make the measures. So that is what the 3D interfaces guidelines, and some of the other guidelines are also available. Implement dynamic queries and rapidly filter out unneeded items. So they have to give the options to dynamic. Dynamic is nothing but so one problem solved to the next problem. So so many customers case will be there. Suppose if you are as some of the customers, they have given some of the queries that. So when they are given the queries one by one, suppose one problem solved, so automatically should come to the next. So that is what the dynamically should be updated for the solving the problem purpose. That is what the implement dynamic queries to rapidly filter out unnecessary items. Support the semantic zooming and movement. So this is also important. So zooming is nothing but, so when you have the mobile, suppose small diagram is there, if you is not able to see that, you can zoom that, you can make the bigger one. So text and all small text will be there, small window you are having. Suppose if you want to make the bigger one, you can make the zoom and you can see it. So here is enables the landmarks to show themselves even at the distance. Suppose the distance landmarks, suppose nowadays the best example you are seeing the Google Maps. Suppose if you are going to the new place, nowadays no need to ask somebody's help. So if net is there, if you have the systems, we can enter the destination directly Google Maps. So landmarks, all these things will be available. So if they give correct destination address, they can go ahead. Allow the multiple coordinated views. So they have to allow the multiple coordinations. So one is not possible to do it, another one. So multiple users, so multiple works should be allowed. Develop novel 3D icons to represent concepts that are more recognizable and memorable. So that is what the develop the novel. So whenever you are making the 3Ds, that should be rememberable, memorable for the users. So that is what. So when they are making the movies, they should make the 3D qualities that should be memorable. So that is what that one. So that is what the best example can be taken 3Ds. Next, teleoperations. Teleoperations, you know that. So you people are involved. So probably if you if it have been discussed 15 years back or 10 years back, this subject maybe it will be the different cases. Nowadays, you are used for the teleoperations, whatever the examples we are giving here. So either Facebook or Amazon, Flipkart or mails, all the interfaces nowadays directly or indirectly are using. So maybe probably 20 years back it would have been taken. So there it was the different situation. So we should have given the example, oh, like this will happen. That's all we should have told at that time. So nowadays, many people you are involved, you are part of the real-time systems. So you know how it will be working, all these things. Apart from that, even you are developing the apps also. Right. So, for example, here two parents are there. Direct manipulations in the personal. So manipulations is nothing but not the one text is there changing the other text, or manipulation is the thing. But sometimes we'll say, "Sir, he manipulated my data to when they're telling to the other persons." So he has because of him we got the fight. So that not that manipulation. So here is nothing but the manipulation is nothing but so you are moving. So now this is also called one manipulation. So one window is there, I'm moving to next or moving to the previous. So that is also called manipulation. So changing one version to another version or one slide to another slide. That is also called manipulations. So direct manipulations in the personals is nothing but when their conversation also manipulation only. Suppose hello, I'll say, even you will say hello. So I'll be saying, so my mobile, so suppose for Samsung mobile is there, I'll talk to the customer care, so some of the settings problem. So he will be saying, go to the settings and change this one so that it will be working perfectly, he will say. That is also called manipulation. So that is called the direct manipulations in the personals, computers and process control in complex environments. So complex environment is nothing but so I am not able to do it. Some of the settings in that are some of the problems happen in my mobile, so that I will be contacting the customer care and I will be telling my queries. So he will be saying that so you have to do this one, or sometimes system TV. So some of the cases it has happened problems, so you can contact and you can do it. So or nowadays sometimes we'll call for the recharge purposes and how recharge is something this one it is not happened. So or it is not activated something. So direct manipulation. So they will say, sir, you tell me the phone number and they will activate it. So all these things will happen. So physical operations is remote. So some of the physical operations also can be done remote. That's what have given the best example. Unix servers configurations and foreground job, background jobs. So cron tab is there. You might have learned it in Unix also. So there every day I want to take the backup end of the day. You can write it every day. So once you have the timings there, day, time, hours, weekly, monthly, yearly. So you cron tab you can make that one. Suppose if you take the banking means every second or every minute they have to take the backup. So because of the financial transaction something goes wrong, they have to find out the previous information. That is the reason our system goes something problems. So that informations they have to make it. Next is complicating factors in the architectures to remove the environments. So when you are doing the remote environments, these things to be considered. So time delays. So remote methods, whenever you are accessing, time delay should be reduced. So otherwise, what will happen? If it is taking for one operations more time, it will be difficult for the other people to access the remote logins. So that is the problem. So now what I have to do, the next one is transmission delays and operational delays. Transmission delays and operational delays. So next you have the incomplete feedback. So time delay means what will happen? So when they are giving feedback also, suppose if they are asking feedback, maybe 2 to 3 lines or 4 lines, 5 lines should be there. So time delay if it is happen, they will not be giving the feedback. So they will be closing that one. So because time delay, nobody have the patience to give the feedback. That is also that is your job, that is your business to improvement. So as a end user customer, why they want to give it? So they will not give it. So maybe 1 or 2 lines means they will give the ratings or whatever it may be. So nowadays we are seeing the hotels feedback or Ola, Uber, all these things we are seeing the feedbacks. So transmission delay should not be happening. So incomplete feedback also probably it will happen that one. Feedback from the multiple sources. So when they are taking the feedbacks, they have to take the multiple feedbacks. So maybe if sometimes customer if they ask, maybe sometimes it will not happen the work done. So in that case, they will be giving some of the feedbacks very worst 1 or 2 cases. So that is the reason when they're taking also some of the companies they'll take first 10% a very good, excellent also they'll leave. Worst last 10% also they'll leave. The remaining will be considered. So then they will come to know the exact feedback. So that is what the feedback from the multiple sources, unanticipated the interferences. Next one is the last one in this virtual and augmented realities. So virtual labs, nowadays we are talking about the maximum virtual labs, virtual labs, virtual labs. So you have the sources, can utilize it. So for example, online compiler, myself only have shown some of the examples last class. Ada, now current semester Ada, previous semester Java we have used. So online compilers we have used. So some of the programs even we couldn't able to execute that one packages and all. So remaining programs we have executed there. So but Ada, what will happen? This is independent program, simple program, C programming code only. So we are able to execute it that one. So virtual labs. So how to utilize still some more options they are telling. So VTU, they're conducting one or two workshops and will come to know still easy how to utilize the virtual labs, all those things. Sitting at home and how to open the virtual labs and how to execute that one, how to utilize the softwares, all these things. So how to store that one and how to extract the data or how to execute the programs and all these things will come to know that now. Now let us see some of the points they have given. What is the virtual and augmented realities when it is coming to the realities? So virtual reality breaks the physical limitations of the space and allow the users to act as through they were somewhere else. So here is this is the most important. Nowadays you may be knowing IT companies, majority companies they were given work from home. So nowadays, now they are thinking that. So some of the people they were told. So maybe another 2 to 3 years they are telling is down to that one. So 20 to 30% people or 50% people, some of the companies they are giving the options to work from home only. So work from home is, so for example, city, Bangalore city you take. So if the employees they're telling every day come to the office, so they have to take their home here, all these things they should be done it. Suppose they give the option work from home, so if the person is from other city, let me say nearby cities, Tumakuru or Chikbalapur, Doddaballapur, something else. So they will be sitting there only and they will be doing the work. So if they say once in 15 days you come to office means, so once in 15 days they will travel there and there. So automatically physical limitations and office expenditure will be come down. Say now system, power, rent, all these things, physical spaces, all these things they're saving now. So virtual reality breaks the physical limitations of the space and allow the users to act as the through they were somewhere else. So you're somewhere else, you're sitting somewhere and you can do your job. So now online classes also you can take. You are sitting at home, you are able to listen your classes. So that is what they automatically space other problems will be resolved. So due to COVID, what happened? If the people grouping together, what will happen? It is spreading. That is the reason they told online classes. So online classes, you are sitting at home individually, so you are taking care of your health. Everybody is taking care of their health. So including teachers also, staff, all those things. So that is what the first point, virtual one. So augmented reality shows the real world with an overlay of additional overlays. So reality shows the real world. So here is when you are using the virtual labs, so you'll come to know how it will works the virtual labs, all these things. So now previously what we were doing, so just you people are coming to the college, whatever the college will provide the systems, we'll open that and we'll apply that one. Nowadays, now what we are doing is using some of the labs. So even still you will get more options. So maybe if you wait another 1 or 2 years, so virtual labs are like your system only, you can work it. So just connect to that particular IP address, you can open that one, so you can execute it that one. So somewhere server will be there, you will be connecting through a remote control only. So there you can open and you like in your system it is visible. So if you are coming to college and working also same, and you are sitting at home and you are executing also the same will be happening. So nowadays beyond working hours somebody will ask. So no need to stay here. So if you say to the administrator to just to switch on the server and keep it ready. So remote login you can enter it in that system and you can work it out. So that is what the virtual lab, one more example we can do it. Now situational awareness shows the information about the real world that surroundings you by taking your movements in a computer model. So this what will happen due to COVID pandemic also, we have learned many things now. We have learned the many things. So remote login or virtual labs, how to utilize that one, how to take the classes, online classes, all these things without physical presence. So many things we have learned it. All these things called the interfaces, how to view the interfaces, all these things also we have learned it. So augmented reality is an important variant. So that is what enables the users to see the real world with an overlay of additional interactions. So nowadays, some of the people are attending FDPs, webinars, all these things, so that you can interact. So suppose even if you get 1 hour time, so sitting at home, you can attend the webinars also. So previously, what will happen? We are spending more time for the traveling also. So workplace and other places. So even in between, if you get some time also, if they give online, so that you can attend it. So if it is the different place also, entire world, so we are able to attend the online also. So enables the users to see the real world with an overlay of the additional interactions. So we can do additional interactions also. Next is virtual and another continuation. See here, so they are saying something. So distance it is there, and they are saying using the glasses something. So successful virtual environment depend on the smooth integration of virtual display. So virtual display in the some of the cases we'll see the using the some of the special glasses. So distance it is there also we can see it. So movies we are seeing, so how they are utilizing and they're showing the objects very clearly, the distance objects also. So visual display, head position sensing, so that is adjustments. So if you have the distance, how to make it zoom, all these things. So that is called the head position sensing. Head position sensing, one is called the hand, one is called the head. So all these things adjustments also can be done. One is called the force feedback, so how to take the feedback from that, and sound input and outputs. So video, audio, you can take it into the consideration of the sound input and output. Another one is called the other sensations. Other sensations. So other sense also. So you can see the object, audio, video, all the things. That is what the other sense also. So you are giving the input values and output values also. By saying you are processing also you are saying. So cooperative and competitive virtual realities. So this one should be competitive and cooperative. So that is what the most important. So either should be cooperative, that means it should be understandable that, and it should be competitive for others also. So suppose if you take the video games only, so the whatever they have given the instructions should be simple. Then only we have the patience to read some of the instructions that are. So just we'll see how to go up, down, or fighting, all these things in video games you are seeing. So if they're given stories, so we don't have patience to read the paragraphs. So that is the reason. So cooperative and competitive virtual reality should have that one. Next one is this, the successful virtual environments depending on the smooth integrations. So when you want the smooth integration, this is the points to be covered. So that means whatever they are displaying should be objects. So that should be very clear. Or whatever you want to see, that object should be clear using that special glasses. So either hand positioning or a head positioning sensoring. So all these things are possible, you need to provide it. So nowadays we are seeing the sensors. So you are doing IoT projects also, you know better than me how to utilize that one. So sensors, so power, automatic on off, so motors on automatic, and some of the blind people, some of the guidelines, how to give it. So traffic. So all these things based on the, because of the sensors only, we are able to find out all these things. So Google Map also, some of the route, once you put it the destination, if there some one route is busy, it will be showing some other route also. So all these things, clarity it is required. So that is what the sensing, forcing the feedback, force the feedback, that is common factor for everything. So sound of input and output also. So nowadays voice message, all these things are available. So that is called the sound input and output. Other sensations. So cooperative and competitive virtual reality. So that is, this is most important. So always competitive and cooperative. So some of the examples you see here. So here you have the medical equipments, so they can be able to see that one. Suppose objects, they will give, for example, x-rays. If you take the examples from the doctor, so some of the people, they will give the x-rays, so we'll move to the doctor and we'll show it. Suppose if it is particular objects is not visible, so they want to see the elaborate bigger one, so they can use some of the medical equipments and they will be able to see that one. So see here, so some of the displays are available right hand side, and here some of the systems are available, and by seeing the missions are using some missions, they can be extract the objects, the bigger one. So that is what the examples. So here some of the objects they are given, see here. So systems are there, and he is standing and seeing here, and here some of the small objects are there, so listening, standing and seeing. So here also some system is there, some other end is there, some of the core objects are there, and here some of the diagrams, they are given surgical systems in the general processing setting. So here is, I'll make it a bit bigger one. See here, some of the monitors are available. So a patient side cards. So some of the things it is happening in this one. See here, some of the objects they are finding out. So from here internally they are giving something. So some of the pipes. So some of the operations when they are making, all these things integrations are important. So some of the people they're changing the organs. So in that case they have to give the breathing. So some, we have seen some of the cases, one or two heart changing, something like that, or kidney changing. So in that case, whatever it is required for functioning our body to replace particular organ, so they have to take care. That is what the examples they have given in this case. So you can see how the relationship between one to another organ. So just for example, this one. So now you can assume that when they are making the operations, so whatever it is required to work our body, so they will be giving the oxygen or some of the links, external, whatever it is required, they will be giving, and they will be giving the connector, and then they will be doing the operations. Then they will say sometimes one or two cases, maximum cases success, some of the one or two cases failures also. So they'll be taking care. In spite of that, one or two failures also will be there. So then that we no need to discuss here. So here is when it is happening, some of the cases. So like objects, how to make it the visuals. So this is what this one. So now if you take the ISRO, when they are sending the satellites, they are sitting in front of the system, they will be operating all these things. So when they're sending the satellites to space, so how they are doing. So all these things with small monitor, they're able to maintain their administration, all those things, they can be able to see it that one. So this is what the effect of the manipulation systems. So manipulations is nothing but with respect whatever we have studied, and for first one is examples also we have seen, and another one is nothing but the manipulations, how we can do it. So with respect to 3D and other techniques, we have learned it, virtual labs, all these things. That is what this chapter says. So first examples also we have seen, word processing, spreadsheet, all some other examples also we have seen it. So 5 to 6 examples we have seen. So next one is direct manipulation systems and 3D systems, and another one is called the virtuals, and some of the examples, objects, how to take. Here is the manipulations in the sense how to take that particular objects and how to make it visible properly. So that is what the most important. So organs insights, suppose if the one organ is not functioning, so based on, they will be identifying some of the techniques, then they'll go for the operation. So otherwise what will happen if they're not able to identify that, it will be the difficult. So which part they have to do the operation, which part is not working, how to identify. So they have some of the techniques, so they'll be going. So medicine, especially medical system, scanning, x-ray, all these things. So based on the symptoms, doctor will be recognizing what to be done and how to take care for that one. So that is what the examples, this one. So this is what the last part in this. So next class we'll be seeing the other part. So next, second part of the third unit. So second part is nothing but menu selections, form fill up and dialog boxes. So this is also using only. So you have some of the things, ideas like how to take the menu items, form filling, all these things examples. So here is most important is main headings are important. So subheadings are important. So that you have to remember. Then you can give your examples and can write it. So that is what the most important. Okay. So this chapter got over and we'll see next class. That is called the third unit, second part. So that is called the menu selections, form filling, and dialog boxes. That is what the chapter name. They're also simple only. We'll see that is next class. Now I'll take the attendance. Today 19. Right. Answer attendance. First tell me less than 13 registered numbers were all present for the class.
3.
Ajay Reddy, 3.
4, sir.
Right, sir. Next. Less than 30.
4, sir. Amit.
Apurva.
Yes, sir.
Right, madam. Next.
Sir, 4, Amit.
7,
Register
sir.
number 4, Amit. Right, sir.
10,
Next.
sir.
Sir, 7.
Huh?
7, sir.
Ashwini, 7. Right, ma.
Sir, Gunashekar, 12.
10, sir.
Gunashekar, 12. Right, sir.
Sorry, 15, sir.
11, Gautami.
10, sir. Gaurish, sir.
10, Gaurish. Sir, not less than 13. Less than 13.
Sir, 20.
Huh?
20, sir.
Less than 27.
Sir, 19.
19, Pradeep.
Sir, 20.
20, Preeti.
Yes, sir.
Next one. Less than 27. Anybody else here? Anybody else? Less than 27. Next. Less than 56. 19 batch.
51, sir.
Huh?
51.
51, Anusha.
Sir, 34.
52, sir.
30.
4, sir. 34. Sir,
34.
30.
Yashashwini. Right, madam. Yashashwini present.
Sir, 20.
Sir, 30.
30, Spurti.
29.
29, Sinchana.
Sir, 31.
31, Shashank.
52, Apurva.
52, Apurva. Right, madam.
Sir, 54, Chetana.
Chetana. Right, madam.
Sir, 16, sir.
16. Now you are telling. 69. Right, madam. Less than 56 over, no? Next, less than 69, 57 to 69. Lateral entry.
58. 58.
69.
59. Murugesh.
69, sir.
Huh?
69.
Pooja na.
Shraddha, 69.
Shraddha. What is the number?
69.
69. Right, madam. Anybody else?
Sir, 73.
Less than 69. Anybody else? Now tell me the remaining persons.
Sir, 73.
73. Umay Hani. Right, madam. Next. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Shall we stop now? Okay. I'll be closing.